Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank Ritu and Franchise India for inviting us to this Congress, and also our co-panelists, Dr. Jahanara, Dr. Kiran, and Rupa. So before I start with my presentation, where I would be talking about what are the global trends in the aesthetic market and what are the opportunities and challenges in the India market, and then briefly touching upon the new concept of med spas. So just to talk about like what we are doing globally, Valiant and Bausch& Lomb. So Valiant is $8.2 billion company based out of US, and Bausch & Lomb is part of Valiant as well as Sota Medical. In India, we started the business in 1992 with Vision Care, where we're selling contact lenses and the lens care solution. And in fact, you must have seen the stall outside for the new color lenses which we have launched, and which in fact could go through the saloons and the spas. See, the other business is the cataract on the surgical side, and we also sell like refractive lasers for vision correction. So last year we launched aesthetics business in India with the medical equipments called Thermage. So Thermage is a skin tightening equipment. It enjoys about 33% market share in Asia. And in terms of the consumer score, it is about like 4.2 out of 5. Then the other equipments we launched are Fraxel for skin rejuvenation and also Clear and Brilliant. So this year we would be launching some of the other products. Vaser, which is for body contouring, which Dr. Jahana was talking about, like how the Hollywood or the Bollywood heroes are getting like maybe 8 packs and 6 packs. Then the other equipment is Isolaz for acne and Liposonics for fat reduction. Then whole cosmeceutical range, Obagi, which is one of the very big brand in US. So moving on with my presentation. So the global consumer behavior is kind of driven by about 6 factors. One is the aspiration, and then media is playing a big role. Hollywood is contributing awareness of the cosmeceutical procedures, efficacy, safety, and convenience, and standardization. The aging affluent population across the globe is actually fueling the growth in the aesthetic market. As per WHO estimates, 1 out of 5 people by the year 2050 would be over 60 years. But who wants to look old today? I think that's the aspiration of the people which is driving the aesthetic market up. They want to like look and feel good always. Media is specifically in the West and US is very kind of fascinated by the word like medical aesthetics. Daytime talk shows are now flooded with new health care and lifestyle talk shows. Makeover television shows are increasingly showing cosmetic procedures. Like our Thermage was featured in Oprah Winfrey Show, and Courtney Cox admitting about the fact getting a Fraxel procedure done on her Ellen TV show. Hollywood is contributing in a great sense. They're helping to expand the market. When world famous Hollywood stars are admitting to the fact of getting cosmetic procedures done. So this helps in 2 ways. One is increasing the consumer awareness as to what is available. And secondly, like they feel more confident that if they also get the cosmetic procedure done, they could get the similar results. As per ISPAS, which is the International Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons, there are about 23 million cosmetic procedures happening globally on an annum basis, of which like 4 million are done in US alone. So consumers today are going for cosmetic procedures, and they're coming back for it because of high efficacy. Vis-a-vis, if you compare with maybe any oral or topical treatment, cosmetic procedures like give you faster results, require less time, and are more effective. So it is efficacy, safety, and convenience which is driving the aesthetic market up. In the US, now talking about the FDA approved equipments. So in US, like all medical devices have to have US FDA approval. and they are approved for a specific indication. For example, if a medical device is approved to be used for a face, then you can use it only for the face treatments and no other part of the body. So this helps ensure like patient safety, and there are kind of no adverse impacts. Uh, there are like a lot of studies and data available in the US with respect to like each medical device. So on the global scenario, as Dr. Kiran was talking about, 51% of the market is in North America and growing at a high rate of 9.7%. In Asia, the aesthetic market is growing at a CAGR of 15%, and good news is that India is growing at over 20% and then taking a lead in the Asia growth. So a quick overview of the India market, some of the opportunities and challenges. As per the FICCI report, the aesthetic market would add about $165 million between 2012 and 2015. So which means it's growing at a CAGR of 20%. Similarly, spa business in India would add about $65 million for between the 3-year period, growing at a CAGR of 15%. If you look at the below chart, non-invasive procedures in 2009 were 25%. However, in 2011, it is like 60% of the total procedures happening in the country. So which shows like consumers are more pro towards the non-invasive procedures as they are more convenient, require maybe no little time, and are more effective. Some of the opportunities, aesthetic market, as I said, is growing at 20% in India. We do about 1.1 million procedures annually, though the penetration is low, but I think consumers are in India are influenced by Bollywood and social media, and which aspires them to maybe look good and young always. Non-invasive procedures are more convenient, and consumers are more pro because they're more effective, can be done in quick time. The segments which are growing in India are skin tightening, anti-aging, non-invasive body contouring, scar removal, hair implant and hair removal, and also chemical peel are growing at a faster rate. Some of the challenges which I've listed down. India aesthetic market is very, very fragmented. There are about like 100 to 150 Chinese and Korean brands available in the country, which lack FDA approval, and there are maybe little or no studies and data available about the efficacy of these equipment. So this might kind of really risk the patient safety and could have adverse impact. So some of the centers are in India are using like low-cost devices, the Chinese and the Korean ones, without checking on their safety and efficacy data. And this might, if there is a bad procedure, and this industry is where like a word of mouth like plays a bigger role, so they might tarnish their own image and might impact the industry growth as well. Also, the third factor is the consumers today are still not very confident and are fearful of getting a cosmetic procedure done. And I think that's because of lack of awareness and PR from us. So as an industry, we need to work more towards creating consumer education and consumer awareness. So the big question is, how do we kind of counter these challenges and let the aesthetic industry grow the way it has been growing? So I'm just mentioning one point, which is like kind of more related with the business we are into, that standardization would help both the industry and the practice to counter the challenges and attain its growth, what we have been like seeing right now. So just to maybe give you one example of standardization, L'Oreal in fact introduced a new category of professional hair care. So it not only helped L'Oreal, but it also helped the new category, and it also helped India to lead the Asia market in the professional hair care. So before 1997, there was a sniff of a structure available in the professional hair care market. So the hairdressers were either using like low-cost Indian brands or some of the good ones, very, very high, expensive foreign ones. So between 1997 and 2014, L'Oreal launched it like three range for the professional hair color, uh, yeah, professional hair care. So these were luxury, premium and affordable, and they took initiative to train the hairdressers. So as a result, in 2014, their revenues kind of increased multifold in the professional hair care segment. So med spas, basically it's a new concept. It's about a facility where you have both medical and cosmetics present. In the US, med spas are kind of increasing at a very good pace, and it's a facility where if the consumer would go and want to get a procedure done, cosmetic procedure done, so he would find professional doctors. So this, they would also like perform some of the alternate therapies in a relaxed and a spa-like environment. So consumers today kind of who are a bit fearful of going to a clinic can actually like visit these places and get a procedure done in a relaxed spa-like environment. So med spas in the US are currently like increasing at a very high pace. So they're growing at about 23%. So, med spas, it's only a decade old, and today we have about 2,100 med spas in the US. So, as per estimates, their business would double from $1.9 million to $3.6 billion in just 4 years by like 2016. So 80% of their revenue is from the procedures and 20% is from the retail products. And average revenue per facility is about $1 million. So med spas, it's kind of benefiting both the owners and the consumers in a big way. For a consumer, it's like one-stop shop where they can get an enhancement and or a corrective therapy done, as well as alternate therapies. The consumers today have like less time and they want quick results. So a medically proven aesthetic procedure is much convenient and much faster and can give a good result vis-a-vis an alternate therapy which may not provide that kind of result. So average billing per person is almost like 5 times in a med spa compared to a normal spa. So thank you, and before I leave, I think with people here and the way our industry is going, looking young in India isn't a distant dream for an average Indian. Thank you.